Hello everyone, I am in Chaing Mai, Thailand, and I am here with a Tantra yoga master, Uriel Yariv. Thank you for doing this video with me.
Hi, thank you. Never been called a master before, yoga teacher, Tantra yoga teacher. Yes.
And one reason I really like Uriel is because he's very inspiring, but also very humble too. And I really admire people who have that humbleness.
Thank you.
So,
yes.
Just a quick introduction to you. You have been, I remember in Zachary's podcast, I think you've been doing meditation and yoga, a combination of each for like 5 or 6 hours a day for 18 years or something?
Yeah, for the past 18 years. Yeah, average about 5-6 hours a day. Yeah, it is my passion to practice Tantra and yoga and meditation. And since I discovered it, I'm on fire and I'm still burning 18 years later. Yeah.
That consistency and time is very amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're going to make 2 videos. This is our first video. And in this video, I wanted to talk about faith with you. Because I could tell you are a man who has faith. And that's an important thing for me. And I also like how you talk about faith in a very, in a way that applies to all cultures and religions and beliefs. Yes. And I really like the things I have heard you say about faith. So can you tell us what you think about faith?
Yes. So faith in essence is a bridge. It creates transfer from one world, we can say, to another. If somebody would come in now in the room and say, guys, there's a fire, the building is on fire, and we would believe, would have faith that this guy, what he's saying is true, then all our hormones, cortisol and dopamine will hit up and we will start to feel panic and whatever. If we knew this guy is a wacko, and he keeps every day at 3 o'clock, he comes here and says, guys, there's a fire, and we know there's no fire. So there is no link between his words, which are one world, and our common reality, which is the other. If you have a faith, to put it in more daily life circumstances, if you have faith that everything that happens for the better, that's something in the world of ideas. But you have such a strong faith that everything that happens for the better, that brings from that world of ideas into our concrete common world, into our material world, that particular energy. And that will amplify the good stuff that will happen in your life. And if on the other hand, because you cannot escape faith, either you have faith in positive things or you have faith in negative things. If you have this faith or this belief that the world is meaningless, we are a chemical accident on a chemical accident on a biological accident, everything is meaningless, then your life will be pretty meaningless. And you will attract from this sphere of meaninglessness, meaningless stuff into your life. And everything will appear empty and meaningless. So faith gives life to ideas. Ideas without faith are empty. But once you believe in an idea, in a concept, if you have a concept, yes, there is a God, and you have intense faith in that, you bring into your world God. If you have a faith, all people are evil, you will attract nasty people into your life.
Yeah, the world works kind of like as our mirror to our beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like faith can be very practical. If someone wants to start a yoga studio or ask out a girl or start a YouTube channel, to have the idea and to have faith that things will kind of work out is very empowering. To kind of trust that if we take action, God or the universe will kind of meet us halfway.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it is very practical. There's this quote from Henry Ford that says, whether you believe you will be successful in what you do or you believe you will fail, you're probably right. Yeah. So
very beautiful.
That you attract that reality. Yes.
How has your faith changed much over the last years, 10 years? Has it improved? Does it go up and down?
Yes, it goes a bit up and down, yes, but definitely improved. I I grew up atheist, and I was very much, I was reading Nietzsche, and I very much thought that there is no Camus and Sartre and all these existentialist philosophers, and I thought there is no meaning, and I was getting very depressive, almost suicidal when I was a teenager. And what I got from that period was to observe very attentively. And then when I started practicing yoga and meditation, I was observing attentively the results. And as the results started to come, I started to have faith in the results, because that's what I saw. And then I allowed myself to have more and more faith, and with the intensity of faith, it increased. Yes, and faith has definitely increased very, very much. And the more, it's a ratio there, the more faith increases, the more or the less you worry. Yeah, because you have faith that life takes care of life, and you're a part of life, and you will be taken care of, and so you don't need to worry. And when you don't worry, you are so relaxed and clear, and so such a pleasant company for others that you will be inevitably more successful. Yes.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one word I really like is synchronicity. Sometimes I'll have faith, and then it could be, sometimes people could say it could just be a coincidence, but I've had experiences where I know that was definitely orchestrated by some sort of higher intelligence.
Yes.
And those experiences have helped improve my faith.
Yes, yes, utterly. Utterly. There's a very good introduction by Carl Gustav Jung. There is a translation to the book of I Ching, and he writes an introduction about synchronicities. It's majestic. It's very beautiful. Because synchronicities, when they are real synchronicities, some in this new age, they say, oh,
it's
I saw a license plate.
Yeah.
Yes, and they go completely wacko, and everything is a synchronicity, and I don't know what.
Yeah.
But real synchronicities, they are a way of the big whole to speak to its parts. It's a wonderful thing, and if you are attentive and you take responsibility for the synchronicities that you get, it can be life-changing. I would not have been on the spiritual path, and I would not be in Chaing Mai. I got here from a dream. I had a dream, and therefore the school basically started. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I had a dream, and I knew this is not a fiction of my mind. It's something that I need to do, and here I am, and so forth. Blandine also, embracing her just as a friend. I knew this is my lover, and then I had faith. The idea came, the intuition came, and I could identify the flavor. I know this is not my mind, this is not my instincts, it's not my gut feeling, it's not my emotions. No, it's a divine voice. And then having faith, well, experimenting a lot with these things, but then having faith, yes, it is like this. And now 5 years later, 5.5, we are together. So yeah, it proved to be true. So these synchronicities, at least in my life, and as I hear also in your life, they are life-changing. But you need to... You don't run after it,
yeah.
But once it's there and you know it's there, that's it.
I've ran after you before.
Yes, yes.
Very beautiful what you said.
Yes,
and
wonderful.
Last question would be, sometimes when I talk about faith with an atheist, they'll bring up the point, well, what about people who live lives of extreme suffering? Maybe people being tortured or starving in Africa or in a prison for 50 years.
Yes.
How can we have the belief that everything is divine or good when there is so much suffering in the world?
Yes, yes. So if we deal with this particularity of faith, of saying, yes, the world is good, it's governed by a positive, intelligent force, then comes the question, yeah, well, then how come there is suffering? Well, the answer that's given in the Tantra Yoga system is that it's a complex metaphysical one, that's the warning. So, as the perfect one absolute turned himself into diversity, first there was diversity without any particular individuality. Everything was the same being, everything, just in many different colors and shapes. And in this process of unfolding, at a certain stage, it's defined very clearly in the Tantras, individuality appears, the ego, ahamkara, in the Tantric tradition. And with apparent individuality comes apparent separation and a particular choice. Now, you cannot create choice without giving this possibility of good and bad. And if you create the possibility of good and bad, and a particular individuality has chosen bad, it is creating like an imbalance, like you push a pendulum in one way, and then the movement from doing something wrong back into balance, that's suffering. And if you process suffering consciously, and you get the point why you suffer, you move pretty quickly back into balance, wiser. And then you can make your next choices in the right way, so that they are good for the whole, not with this illusion of separation. And in this way, you get wiser, and eventually the reward is that you have an individuality. You can recognize, I am. And yet, if you make all your choices correctly and you go through all the sufferings properly, in the end of the cycle you say, I am an individual, yet I am one with everything. Everything is one, and I am all of this, and yet I am this. And you gain somehow this ultimate paradoxical prize of having duality and non-duality, multiplicity and singularity intertwined. That's the actual miracle, and for that individuality was created, but yes, with the price of suffering. So
both at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. So you are individual and one with everything. That's, if you make all your choices right, that is enlightenment. Yeah, if you make all your choices right, eventually you hit that. Yes.
And I think maybe with a belief like reincarnation, that kind of helps me more, gives a perspective where I can more understand this, because maybe if someone's had a very, very difficult and hellish life, this life, maybe in future lives things can more rebalance.
Yes.
That's just one thing I've thought.
Yes. It has to, this theory needs this element of reincarnation, because some babies are born with a disease. How to explain that otherwise? And yet, you see, whereas pain is objective, pain is there in our nerve system. For suffering, you need to have your mind. You need to have your own projection. A wise man is happy in hell, whereas a fool suffers in paradise. If you have the right attitude, Nelson Mandela was free in the prison. Gandhi was free in the prison. Aurobindo and others who were in very, very difficult conditions. Yet, having this elevated state of consciousness, they did not suffer. Whereas people who are rich and famous, just saw now the movie of Freddie Mercury, what richness and fame and all the possibilities are there to be happy, and yet terrible suffering. So sin, or coming out of the right mindset, is immediately creating suffering regardless of the outer circumstance. Whereas if you perfect your inner attitude towards life, then everything that you do, you have happiness inside, you have joys inside. Even Jesus Christ there on the cross, still enlightened, still one with God inside of all that suffering. There is still bliss there.
I told my dad, when Jesus says, God, oh God, why have you forsaken me? And I thought, did Jesus lose that faith in that moment? But then my dad said Jesus was actually quoting a scripture from the Psalms. So so maybe he was actually still in complete faith in the agony, and he was quoting scriptures, which is a very beautiful thing. Showing his faith.
Some say that in this moment where he says, Eli, Eli, lama shvaktani, God, why have you forsaken me? That he had, for a moment there, a human experience. so that the suffering can be real. He was in constant unity with God, in constant ecstasy or samadhi or cosmic consciousness, and then for a moment he was put there, utterly human, to suffer like a human being. For the magic of his redemption to take place, he had to be a human, poof, and really suffer like a human. And then, of course, rise again to heaven, but he had to go all the way down. So he went all the way down to hell from there to really redeem the sins of humanity. Yeah, so there are some theories about this.
Great.
Yes.
This has been really excellent. Thank you for doing this video with me.
Yes, thank you for the invitation.
If anyone watching this would like to find out more about you, where would you like me to direct them?
Yeah, sure. So our site is Tantra Yoga Thailand, and on Facebook and others we are called Mahasiddha Yoga. We'll put the link
I'll
down
put
there.
links in the description. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right,
Great.
and we're going to film another video, so make sure you're subscribed, and that other video will be coming soon. And if you like the video, we'd appreciate a thumbs up, and please comment your thoughts below. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.